is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going. What is good, YouTube? Happy holidays. Happy 4th of July to all my subscribers and newcomers. Because this video won't come up a little late on the weekend. I have to enjoy mine, then hit the studio and give y'all some content to eat up for the holidays. I will be back Sunday with another video. But we're going to talk about how much money is Malik Hot Street Beasley. This is a guy, as you know his story. He was getting ample opportunities in Denver. They found a guy that they wanted to move forward with in Gary Harris. They chose to pay Gary Harris. He's a part of their big core with Jamal Murray, Michael Porter, and Yoki, and a couple other players that come off their bench with upside. But what I will say is a lot of people already have respect and love for Malik Beasley, and I want to make that known because a lot of people don't understand. We already knew Malik Beasley can play. A lot of people didn't know why he wasn't playing this year, even though, like I said, they had Torrey Craig and other guys that stepped up, even Will Barton, and they just didn't have the opportunity for him to continue to play because they was already giving opportunities to other players, and they already decided that Gary Harris was going to be their starter, and they paid him, and they committed to him, and they couldn't afford to keep Jokic, Murray, Harris, and a lot of other guys in Beasley when he can actually have an opportunity to showcase what he can do. They couldn't give him that opportunity because they had the vets and Gary Harris. So what they ended up doing was getting rid of him and getting something, a little small package back. And Beasley took advantage of his opportunity, and you can't hate him, you can't knock him for it. If they're going to give you a lot of minutes and they're going to give you a lot of opportunity, why not take advantage of it? D'Lo is out for a couple games. Karl-Anthony Towns haven't even played with Malik Beasley yet. Why not take the advantage of the opportunity that you're given? Malik Beasley can play. We all knew it. He got an opportunity, got more shot attempts, and took full advantage of it, and he made a good name for himself. Shooting good from the field, 47% I believe from the field, which is important. He shot 42% from threes at a high volume. But like I said, when he was in Denver, he shot 34% from three his second year. He shot 40% from three his third year with 5 attempts. And he even shot 36% from three this current season before he got traded. So he always been a great shooter from the three-point line. He always can really make you pay attention to him and stay honest to him because he can knock down threes. But I like the fact that he was a lot more aggressive, a little bit more with Minnesota because they needed him to do it because of the injuries and guys sitting out. But I like that he took advantage and showcased what he can really bring to the table and what he can really do because, like I said, Towns need those type of guys. That is aggressive. He need those type of guys that are going to look for their shot. He need those guys that can play off the ball and allow him to post up, allow him to get some pops, and allow him to have guys when he gets double teamed or he gets a trap sent to him, they can knock down shots off the ball, and even if they get the ball, they can make plays. And that's what D'Angelo Russell do, and that's what Malik Beasley do. I know they're not the greatest defenders. I know they might not be the greatest backcourt, but it's an upgrade considering that Wiggins could not shoot threes consistently. Wiggins sometimes a fade in and fade out, be alive and disappear. And we know D'Angelo Russell loves the spotlight. He shows up in big moments. He may not be the greatest defender. He may not be the most efficient player, but at least he knows how to attack. At least he knows his game. And at least he knows how to play on and off the ball and even in pick and roll. And that's something that they didn't really have. And then you enter Malik Beasley, a guy that's hungry. He want to show that he can play. He want to show that he can do some damage in this league. And he showcased that this season when he did get the minutes. The only problem is he has to do it with Towns and D'Lo and the rest of the team healthy on his team on the roster and playing full to see if he can really do this thing at a full starting position, which we just don't know yet because once Towns and Russell come back, his role is going to be reduced because they're going to put the ball in their hands, which means he's going to either have to be a great third or fourth option, or he's not going to really fit that much on Minnesota. What I will say about Minnesota, I will give them a lot of credit for making the move, because a lot of people knew he could play, and they was willing to say, hey, we went all in with D'Lo and Towns. Why not get another guy that potentially could fit and give floor space into Towns, something that he hasn't really had? Why not get him and Hernangomez? Both guys can play off the ball. Both guys don't need the ball to be, spectacular, and they both can punish defenses for switching and not paying attention to them, especially in the corners and at the top of the key. That allows Towns to post up more. It allows him to face up more, but it also allows him to be able to roll to the rim. And if he can't get there, or he does sink in the defense, there are kick out targets for him to be able to trust and rely on guys that can knock down threes. And that's something that he really didn't have. Culver wasn't doing it. Wiggins wasn't doing it. Basically, nobody on the team was doing it besides Towns. Towns was lighting the world on fire from three the last couple years as a big man. He was their best shooter, and he was a center. That just can't happen. It's great that you can have that, but you also want to put the right pieces around Towns to make his job easier and allow him to get better, higher, smarter shots, because he has the team that don't allow him to work as hard for buckets, and then he has to do everything he can to score a lot of points to keep him in games. Now he can relax and let teammates around him do their thing, feed off them, play his game, pick his spots, and be dominant like he has been the last couple years, and everything should be better. But this doesn't mean that they're going to be a playoff team. This doesn't mean that they're going to be great. It just means that they have a different philosophy and a different thought, that they want to try something else. The Wiggins and the Towns thing didn't work, even with Jimmy Butler. They made it to the playoffs. Jimmy didn't want to be there, mainly because Wiggins had something to do with it too. Now that they both gone, now you know that Towns can dominate. You know what he brings to the table, and now you're going in a different direction with an identity. You're going in a different direction with a philosophy, and now you're changing really the style of play, which fits better for Towns, because he's more of a perimeter guy than a post-up guy anyway, and you do need space to do both. And now he basically has that if they can hold up their three-point range shooting this entire season coming up, because they is not going to be in the bubble games, so we're not going to see them. But they do get to add another good pick onto this roster for basically a roster spot. So maybe they trade up in the draft, maybe they trade down, maybe, we don't know. But I know that they do need more bench players that can be affordable. And one thing I like about this draft, it may not be superstar heavy, but you can find a lot of skill set players, three-point shooters, rebounders, shot blockers within that top 15 and top 30 early second round. So maybe they can pick up a couple pieces in this up-and-coming draft and slot them into 8th, 9th, and 10th man that can still develop, that can still grow, but also can bring small things to the table right away. But this video is not about the whole Minnesota Timberwolves team. This is about my guy Malik Beasley. He showed that he can score. He showed that he can shoot. He shows that he's going to really go out there and do his thing. The problem is, now that he showed that he is an elite shooter the last couple of years, and he was able to do it at a higher volume with 8 3-point shots a game, 8 3-point attempts a game, now you're going to have to break the brink trucks, because if guys can shoot, and guys can do a little bit more than just that, and he can knock some shots off the dribble, he can get to the paint, he can get out in transition, he can shoot threes in transition, he can do stop and pop sometimes. That's valuable in this league, especially for his age. And that's why I give them a lot of credit for taking this gamble. And I do want to see him stay with the Wolves. Best part about the Wolves is he's going to be restricted. So even if somebody else is interested, they can try to negotiate a deal. If they can't hit a deal, he can get matched by the Minnesota Timberwolves to keep his rights and keep him on the team. So they get a gamble, they get a guy that might fit their system, get a guy that can fit a position of need and give them what they need, which is floor spacing. Plus they have the best opportunity to keep him in Minnesota, just because they can match him as a restricted free agent if they can't get him on a deal before he gets another offer from another team, which is fine, because if you want talent and you want players that can do specific things, especially like three-point shooter, which everybody wants right now, especially at his age, you got to pay the man his money. So I definitely don't think Malik Beasley. I definitely don't think Malik Beasley is a max player. I think he's a 60, $70 million player if you're really going to start him and give him big minutes. I think that the best part about this team is not only that they're young, not only do they got the floor space now, but they can develop together, as a lot of these guys like Russell and Towns have already signed their extensions and they all in the same age group. Plus they get to start off healthy coming into next season with a training camp and some practice before they even play the preseason games, and then they can finally get back to the regular season, which they should be fresh, which they should be rejuvenated, excited, and ready to, put the world on notice that Minnesota, even though they're going in a different direction, even though they're going away from the Wiggins direction and Jimmy Butler, that they can still be a competitive team in the Western Conference. They was a little competitive in the beginning of the season, but it didn't last long, and that's unfortunate. But they're going to reboot, retool, and try to come back with a different approach and a different method on how to play, and hopefully that can lead them to more wins and possibly even the playoffs. We know that D'Angelo can get hot. We know that Towns and Beasley can get hot, but I really want to focus on their role players. They're going to have to step up and really help this team, because this team is 1-2 injuries away from being another lottery team. They also not the greatest at certain positions, and that's why I said they should fill up some spots in this draft. Get some size, get some athleticism, get some shooting, get some rebounding, get a little bit of rim protection, and that all will be available in this draft in the mid to late, which they have picks in. So other than that, I think Malik Beasley is a 70 or below $1 million player. I think he does fit what they're trying to do. He showed that, and I'm really excited to see what this Minnesota team does in the future, just because they want Devin Booker. But if Devin Booker don't request a trade, he's gonna stay in Phoenix. Malik Beasley is interesting if I'm Phoenix. If I want to put him in that trade, plus you got some picks. You don't really want to give up too much for Devin Booker, because he might not help you win a title, but he would definitely make this team a whole lot more competitive. Only problem is, do you want to be competitive in the no man's land, or do you want to be a legitimate contender? I don't see this team as a contender with Devin Booker, even with Beasley, but you never know what they continue to do with this roster. They have been poorly managed. They have made bad acquisitions. They haven't really hit on every draft pick besides the obvious ones. And even Andrew Wiggins was supposed to be obvious, but he didn't really pan out that well either for them as their number one pick after they traded Kevin Love. And Towns has panned out perfectly, has become one of the top 15 players in the world, in the NBA, and yeah, I should say the world. But at the same time, that's only really took them so far as a first round exit that won one game. So I really want to keep track of this team for the next 3 to 4 years, see will this D'Angelo, Russell, and Towns team work, or will they, flop or even just be okay at best. I really want to see them back in the playoffs. I love me some D'Angelo Russell. I'm excited for the new path for Malik Beasley, and Towns has been hungry. He has been on a mission, and I want to see with this team, with this floor space, and with these shot creators and playmakers and decision makers and guys that can actually handle the ball and create on and off the ball, will that dynamic push them over the top? They're going to give up a lot of points because they don't have great defenders. They're going to make a lot of mental mistakes because they're young and they really want to prove themselves. So that sometimes it's hero ball. But a lot of that is part of the growing process. A lot of that you're going to get damaged and hurt by. It's called learning. And that's something that they're going to have to figure out as a team in the future. And maybe it helps them in the future. Maybe it pushes them apart. Or maybe they just never get to that point where they become great. We won't know. That's the fun part. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. That will also be in the description comment section below. Like the video if you already liked the video. Thanks for the love and the support. Also, share. Liking and share helps the channel grow. Thanks for you guys doing that and continuing to do it. Other than that, like I said in the beginning of the video, my merchandise is on sale on Facebook, also in Spreadshirt. Not only that, I make videos just like this every single day. So if you like basketball, cover the draft, summer league, free agency. I do tributes to the legends. Also do breakdowns, summer league, breakdowns of NBA players. And I also do cover playoff predictions, trade deadline, and free agency, and season preview. So if you love basketball, you can't get enough of it, you need that fix every single day. I try to make a video every single day. And if I do, there's more videos for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. I don't know when it's going to be up. But other than that, I'll be back at y'all with Saturday with another video. Pay Malik Beasley. Let him play. Give him an opportunity. Let him shine. And now we're going to see what he do with the Towns and Russell fully healthy, hopefully next season. Pay the man.